Is it?
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented
And we are live. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. It's been a busy day here on Yankee Mania and World Sports Mania Entertainment. However, we are looking forward to this interview that we are about to have with former Miami Marlins relief pitcher Justin Nicolino. So, everybody, give a warm welcome to Justin Nicolino. There he is. Justin, thank you so much for joining us today. It's myself, Evan. We also have Sean Browning and Chef Nick here with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you don't mind, just start talking about your career, your journey to where you were when you began playing Major League Baseball, and everything else just like that.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on here. It's always fun to kind of go back to the glory days, talk shop, talk ball. Yeah, I played professionally for 13 years and retired a couple of years ago. Was drafted at a high school in 2010. Uh, and I think from the first time I think I ever played baseball, which was I started a little bit later than most. I started at 7 and um, fell in love with it as a kid. I think just like all of us, we fell in love with the game, and I loved the camaraderie aspect. I loved the competition. I loved um, everything about the game, and from a very young age, as long as I can remember, my one goal, my only plan that I had in life was to be a Major League Baseball player, and I was very fortunate enough to reach that pinnacle. Um, and along the way of that journey, I was able to um, experience a lot of highs and lows. But now, with what I got to experience in the 13 years of playing, I'm getting to help the next generation here at Shred, and give them any tidbit, any type of idea to be able to accomplish what I was able to do, and be as fortunate as I was.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome that you were drafted out of high school. That's really impressive. I was actually watching my college baseball team today, Montclair State. They lost 8-3 against Westfield State today, D3. But they're a good team. They have a pretty good record right now, and they're going along well. So, of course, thank you for your answer there. And just a quick question before we go to Sean and Chef is what was your preparation like in the major leagues? How did you prepare for different teams? What did your pitching coaches, your manager tell you as far as how to prepare for other teams and scouting and all those things?
Yeah, in the big leagues, it was a little bit different. You had a lot more access to information, a lot more data, video. In the minor leagues, and this is, you got to think back to before the data analytics and all the access to everything that we have now. So scouting reports back in the day, like when I was in the minor leagues and coming up, it was just like, you got your stat sheets, and you got, who was the hot hitters, who was struggling, who was doing well. And a lot of the times you would have, pitchers meetings, and you would kind of go over, and if anybody didn't, or if there was a guy in the lineup that, nobody really knew about, you'd kind of ask around like, hey, has anybody faced this guy at a different level? What does his swing look like? What does his approach look like? Does he have, I was big on like, does a guy have a different swing when there's men on base compared to when there's nobody on base? And then a lot of it also come down with to, I think a lot of, in today's generation of the young guys coming up is, um, guys forget to pitch to their strengths. And that was something that I was able to do. Um, I knew what hitters did really well and what hitters didn't do well, but I also still had to keep like the main goal of pitching was to pitch to your strengths. Because if you're trying to deviate or get off track or do something that is not part of your game, it just kind of throws a wrinkle into, your outing, or say you're trying to do too much, and it just kind of messes up the flow of it. And then in the big leagues, it's a little bit different. I remember the first time I did my first big league scouting report before a game, I felt like everybody was Babe Ruth in the lineup. And it was like, man, this is not like, because you have access to so much information that like it almost overwhelms you. And I think that's what sometimes a lot of guys do is they get all this access to this information and it becomes overwhelming. And then you're out there thinking on the mound more than you should. Um, but as far as the preparation was, is you kind of have your pitchers meeting, and then you have your sit down meeting before game with your catcher, your pitching coach, and yourself, and you kind of have ideas because you do your homework before the start. Obviously, you're looking and seeing what guys are hot, what guys are doing the most damage with men on base. You're looking at like later on in the outings, what are guys doing? There's so many things that go into it, but I think the biggest thing that I tried to remember was uh, I have to pitch to my strengths, and if I completely try to change everything, I'm going to be hurting myself more than helping myself.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Chef or Sean?
Yeah. So as you were talking about that access to information and all this technology and everything and analytics in this age of analytics. So how, as a pitcher and especially a relief pitcher, how would you be able to balance all of that, and then the preparation and then getting in?
Yeah, so I think what you do is you take the most valuable information for you, right? Like I think a lot of people get all this information and they're like, oh well, there's like 6 things I got to know for this guy, 6 things I got to know for this guy. But it's like you learn to take what information is valuable for you, right? Because everybody pitches differently. Everyone has different stuff. Everyone has different mindsets. So you have to really know, like I said before, you have to know your strengths, and then kind of know where you're coming up, like who's in the lineup. Like I think the hardest adjustment was for me was I was a majority of a starter the most of my career, and then when I went into the bullpen at times, it was pretty much you had to follow the game, right? You kind of had to know what scenarios, who was coming up, when you might have an opportunity to go out there, and then you're just kind of watching the game unfold, and then you have a bullpen coach while you're getting hot, going over who you're potentially going to face, and it's going to be like, hey, you could probably stick in a breaking ball here because he's not really swinging, or hey, when you're coming out of the bullpen, you need your best shit right away because they're trying to come out. They got the starter out of the game, so you're trying to come in, and they're trying to ambush you or whatever. That's why you see so many times the guy comes out of the pen and he's throwing a first pitch breaking ball, right? So I think the biggest thing is out of the pen, you kind of got to know what information is valuable for you, and then also just watch how the game unfolds and how you can attack it from there.
Okay, awesome. No, that's great. Chef Nick, you got any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Justin, again, thank you for your time, for coming over and just doing the interview. Look, I was big fan of you, and throughout your career, I followed you a lot. Like I know you started in the Blue Jays organization. Am I correct? Yeah. Then, of course, the Miami Marlins, the Reds, the Twins, the White Sox. You spent time with the Raccoon Monkeys in the Chinese League, right?
Yep.
The High Point Rockers, second stint with the Reds, the Generalis de Durango in the Mexican League, and then back to the High Point Rockers. I just look, whenever I do interviews, I definitely want to ask something that's beneficial for myself and also for everyone that's watching too. I'm not going to ask you what's your favorite color. So I just want to get like deep in the shoes of you, like, just like with the psychological grind, working hard physically, that grind, the emotional grind. Let's just say the mindset, stepping inside your shoes, the preparation to start the day, to hustle for the muscle during the day, to end the day. What was your routine like? And I do have a follow-up question to that, but like, how would you start, sort of like go through the day and end the day in your shoes?
I mean, I think like when I retired, physically it was taxing and tolling on everything, but it came more from the mental exhaustion. Every day was planned out. Every day was mapped out. I knew my routine like the back of my hand. Especially in the off season. So like season would end, and then we take a 2-week vacation or take a 2-week break off, and then it was right back to getting ready for the next season. And the preparation that went into it from a mentality standpoint, I'm a very punctual person to where everything was regimented to fit my day. Um, I have two daughters as well, and my wife has been with me like through my whole career, and she kind of became accustomed to it to where, I ate meals at certain times. I had this amount of time that I could work out. I knew what I had to do for my workout. I knew what I had to do as my daily prep to get me ready to go out there and perform. And it was more of a mental taxing toll because, I'm a firm believer that this game is 95% mental because physically you could be a specimen, but if you're not locked in mentally and you don't believe in your routine, you don't believe in your conviction, your mentality that you are better. Because that was the biggest thing that I always felt like I always did was no matter if somebody was better than me or had more talent than me, when I stepped on the field, I thought I was the best person in the world. But that was a belief that I instilled in myself from a very young age. And that had a lot to do with my parents to where even when I was younger and if I was, let's say, better than, somebody or whatever, I was always humbled and said, well, hey, there's more that you can always do. Now granted, I wasn't always given kudos when I should have. So like now as a coach, I'm trying to make sure I give my guys kudos and props to them when they do something well. But I think it just kind of instilled in me that like, even if I do good, I can be better than what I was. So it just was very mentally draining because it always felt like my brain never shut off, not necessarily in a bad way, but like I knew what I had to do day in and day out to make sure that I was ready for the task at hand, and whatever that was.
And great answer, man. Thank you. Absolutely. And just right now, as you as a coach, that was like the follow-up question is what words or like encouragement like would you give, like were you teaching like without giving up? Let's just say let's talk about the mental like taxing like just what the daily grind like just being like just put aside like physical, emotional. Let's talk about like the mental work for that. Like what words of encouragement would you give to someone that you're mentoring, let's just say, to not give up, to keep going in that?
Yeah, I would say it's all about perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think perspective is one of the biggest things is because in the moment, if it doesn't go well, you feel like the whole world comes crashing down, and it's not. Like a lot of the guys that I work with are that are part of this younger generation. And I will say the new fad of what is different from how I came up, through high school and all this stuff, like everything is velocity based. Everything is stuff based. Everything is like, oh, how hard do you do this? How hard do you throw this? And in reality, is that stuff important? Absolutely, because it's not going anywhere. We have, the game. I can't tell you the last time I turned on a game where, you have 7 guys out of the bullpen. You have one funky guy out of the bullpen that is an outlier where he's either a Tyler Rogers or a Ryan Yarborough or someone that's funky, deceptive. But everybody else, those 95 plus. And so I think what I try to give with this generation that I work with is like that stuff takes time. And if you're willing to put in the work and the effort to accomplish that instead of trying to get a quick fix, because obviously the game of baseball is all about adjustments and stuff like that. But I think what I try to instill with my young guys in this generation is like take the little wins when they come about. Like if it's okay, like for instance, if a guy goes out there and absolutely shoves, but he's not happy with his velocity, it's like you're looking at the wrong picture of what is really the main goal. You went out there and absolutely dominated. You shoved. You gave your team a chance to win, but all you can think about is your velo is down, which, okay, like it's down, but what the task at hand was to go out there and give your team a chance to win, and you went out there and absolutely shoved. So being able to take the wins when they come and celebrate them and be proud of them, because that just builds confidence. That builds the emotional intelligence of like positive self-talk. And I feel like so many guys struggle with positive self-talk because there's so much stuff that's put on the internet of, oh man, well, this guy's doing this I need to do that. But like nobody wants to like fully put in the effort to just hone in on their craft, like because I'm not you, you're not me. Like I can't do it for you, but if I really sell out to become the best version of myself and not worry about the outside noise, that's when guys truly start to take off. And that's something that I try to instill with my guys, is celebrate the wins when they come and focus on yourself and put in the effort for you, not anybody else.
That's awesome. I love that.
Awesome. If you don't mind, we got a question from Katie in the
Yes.
chat. Her question is, what was your favorite moment of your career in the MLB?
Excuse me. Obviously, there's a numerous amount. I mean, obviously your debut. Everyone always says your debut, but I think one of the coolest ones, other than the debut, was I grew up as a kid playing in tournaments in Georgia, and after the tournaments would be over in Georgia, we would go and watch a couple games at Turner Field. So full circle and very nostalgic. What was so awesome was in my rookie year of being in the big leagues, we went to Turner Field, and I remember being out in center field running. Nobody's there in the stadium, nobody's there. There's nobody in the crowd, and I remember just standing out in center field and just being in awe, and like walking over to where I would remember we would sit during those games, and then just standing in the outfield and being in awe that, like, man, 10 years ago I was a kid just living in the moment of being a fan, watching this, wanting to do this one day, to when 10 years later I'm on the field, nobody's in the stands, it's quiet, there's no noise, there's nothing going on, and I was able to kind of soak that in and take it in.
Wow. No, that's cool. But I also want to ask you, what was the transition like between when you went from the MLB to China, and then obviously went later on in the Mexican League as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that is different is just the culture. It's really, because in the grand scheme of things, it's still baseball. It's just different countries do things different. I mean, the hardest transition was with going to Mexico was the altitude, right? It's a tough place to pitch. It really is. It's like you're constantly pitching in Coors Field, but the altitude is different in all of them. And the one with going into Rakuten in Taiwan, just the way they do things, like, that you see on TV, where they have multiple people hitting batting practice, or I think the big one that kind of really stuck out to me was when I first showed up, I was watching relievers throw 85 pitches in a bullpen, like, stuff that is like foreign and like frowned upon here, in America. But at the end of the day, it was still the same game. We still worked on bump plays. We still, had pick plays. And I mean, because at the end of the day, the objective is to get the guy out that's 60 feet, 6 inches in front of you.
Oh wow.
That's awesome. I want to also ask, from your days with the Marlins, of course, who was the toughest team you faced against? And if anything, which individual player gave you the toughest time?
My kryptonite. I mean, I don't know what my numbers look like against them, but like I could not figure out the Washington Nationals, whether it was in Miami or at Washington. Um, my lone good quality start that I think I had, or good outing. I was throwing well, got taken out of the game. My runs got cashed in after, so it kind of messed up my outing. But I don't know. They just absolutely raked me. And then the toughest guy that I don't think I ever got out one time was Charlie Blackmon. And this was when Charlie Blackmon in like the middle of the 2015, 16, 17, 18, when he's hitting bombs, hitting for average, all this stuff. I mean, when I think back to it and people ask me, it's just like I felt like I threw the guy the kitchen sink. And there was times on the mound where it's like, I don't know what to throw this guy, like, because he was at that time so hot, and it didn't matter who he was facing, whether it was a drop down lefty or a power righty. Like, he seemed like he was so in tune with his swing that I just couldn't figure him out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blackman, definitely a great, consistent player for sure from the
For
Rockies.
sure.
Oh yes. And then I was gonna ask about the effectiveness of the quick pitch. I've seen guys like Wandy Peralta nowadays, and even Nestor Cortez, and they do that like quick pitch during an at bat and different things. How effective is it?
It's only as effective as it works. Like if it if it works, it's effective. Like, I mean, I think I'm a big believer. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if it works, why not do it? I think I think a lot of what it is too is as pitchers at times, especially nowadays with like the pitch clock and stuff like that, it is very easy to get into a same type of pattern on the mound, right? Like you come set, you hold for 3 seconds, or you come set when, say you're a reliever and nobody's on, you come set, you take your time, and then guy gets on first base or you get people on base, you quicken up your delivery. But I think it all depends on who you are, and if it keeps you within your delivery and doesn't change your stuff, I think it's very valuable. I mean, because at the end of the day, you're trying to disrupt timing of the hitter, because even with all the data analytics of everything that's in this game, like it's still a human on human interaction, to where like somebody has to hit the ball, somebody has to throw the ball, and however you can disrupt that timing, and if it works, great. But I've also seen a lot of guys that try to incorporate that stuff, and their arsenal goes to crap because like they speed something up and they haven't figured out how to time it up. And I think the guys that can do it really well, like when you think of like a Marcus Stroman or a Cortez that can do all this, or even a Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto was like the epitome of it, to where you give a little shimmy and he'd still be able to produce results from it. Now, if it's something that you can't produce results from, not something that you want to give a go to.
Okay,
Right.
no, that's good. I'm just like curious from a pitcher's and a coaching standpoint, and that all makes sense. You know.
It's something that I could never do. I'll tell you that much. I was very type of pitcher where like, I could be quicker to the plate and stuff like that. But if I was to slide step, I feel like I would just throw off my whole delivery and it would affect my pitches. So then now, is it really that effective? No, because it's actually hurting my pitches, and they're not maybe as deceptive or as crispy as they should be.
Yes. And before we go any further, just to give about a minute break, I'll give some promotion updates right now. So you guys are listening right now to Justin Nicolino right here on NY Yankee Mania. We thank him for giving his time up to be here this evening. You're also listening to Sean and Chef Nick. We're on the interview right now, NY Yankee Mania. And over on World Sports Mania Entertainment, Jason, who is my twin brother, is calling the Hofstra against Alabama. I'm not sure if that game ended yet. March Madness game currently. So please go over there, show him some support. We're happy with how that channel has grown, so thank you guys very much for that. And then at 6:10, Ken from Yankees The Ugly Truth will be doing an open panel. He'll be doing an open panel show, so go over there, listen to him, talk about the Yankees, and that's pretty much it. So now we can resume this interview with Justin.
Justin, I want to ask you, like, any specific mentors that stick in your mind throughout your career, and even now too, let's just say.
I had a few pitching coaches throughout my career that, even after I left, let's say the Blue Jays, or I left an organization, they were someone that I always confided in, when the time needed. I mean, I had, Joe Coleman was a pitching coach of mine in Miami, and he had 3 generations of family that pitched in the big league. So like, the biggest thing with him was he was really good at keeping the game simple. And, one big thing that I always remembered was like, he'd come out for like a pitching mound visit, and he'd always bring his can of dip, or before he'd come out, and he would scoop the lid, and he wouldn't even pack it, and he would just throw it in. So he's out there talking to you. He's got all this dip all over his face. But the best thing is like he gave the best advice to simplify it. And because, let's say you're in a pickle or you're in a bind, or, you're not controlling the damage right now. And it's like, he was always perfect timing with coming out to visit and just saying 5 words or less. And you're able to kind of reset. I had a pitching coach named Vince Horseman. I felt like I had a lot of teammates. I was very young when I made it to the big league. So when you're young, you're trying to get your feet wet, but you're also trying to abide by, protocols of a rookie and stuff like that. So you find people that are willing to help take you under their wing and kind of show you the ropes, teach you really how to be a big leaguer. But I was very fortunate enough to be around a couple really good, really stacked rosters, to where some guys I learned from just by watching, and just by taking in of like, hey, how they handled business, how they handled the media, how they handled themselves after a bad outing. I mean, because let's be honest, like you have a bad outing and you got
Yeah.
media in front of your face right after, like you have to, keep it media trained as we call it. But like on the inside, it's like we really want to be able to let it out and say what we want to say. But that's when you have your mentors or your guys that you go to be able to talk about those things, because at the end of the day, all behind the uniform and behind the TV, like we are human, and we
Yep.
have feelings and emotions to where um, we kind of get scrutinized if we show too much in a sense of like dissatisfaction and whatnot.
So this is where it's like where the mental, and you bring this up perfectly, and you said it perfectly, Justin, is just the mental aspect of the game. It's like you have a bad outing, and all you want to do is like, depending how you handle it, you want to either do better the next time or just go home. But then also you have the fans, you have the media, you have outside pressure, inside pressure. It's like, so like if you're lucky enough to have mentors that can help you with that, but it's like how can you control that? Like how can you control those emotions? Let's just say if you had a bad game, and then it's like all you want to do is just be in your locker and then be in your own thoughts. Like how do you compose yourself? Like how do you go through that or
I
get
mean,
through that?
yeah, I think, like I said before, it's all about perspective. I got a guy that I work with that, he's younger than me. He's been a mentor for me since I transitioned from my plant, because I got right into this job at Tread like right after I retired. So like I was still a player at heart, and not knowing how to disassociate myself as a player to then be able to be a coach to give the right advice. Because like when I first started working, anytime I was trying to give advice, it was always like the player mindset. And I've been able to transition that because of my guy that's at Tread with me. And he was a player. He didn't make it very high in pro ball, but he was still a professional. And then he moved on to different realms of strength and conditioning, and now being at Tread. And we kind of talked about like being able to simplify things and communicate things in a way that a guy would want to hear, and have like be that sounding board in a different mentality. Because like when you have fans that are coming at your throat, and you have people that are keyboard warriors that are talking bad about you, like when you put it in perspective of like, hey, and this is kind of like a you know rude way to think of it, but it's like if you were to do what I did for one day,
Hmm.
you would not be able to handle the pressure. Because not only do you have the pressure of performing, you have the pressure of performing on the biggest stage on national television, when there's media, when there's fans that are watching. And it's like you have to put in perspective of like, hey, what I do, we're entertainers. Because if without baseball players, there's going to be nobody to fill the stadiums, and the fans are the most important things that bring the
Yeah.
hype to teams, right? But at the end of the day, like the perspective of knowing that you're human and you're going to have good and bad days, that I mean, when you look at it, I call these guys like the DeGroms, the Scherzers, the guys that are like the unicorns of our game. Like they're still human. They are just so locked in mentally that like they're able to disassociate themselves from their bad outings, know what they need to work on. They attack it in between their in between work. That way, when they go into the next game, they feel prepared that, hey, I didn't do this very well this last game, but that doesn't define me. That doesn't change who I am. It's just like I know what I now have to work on to make sure that it just doesn't, start to crumble, or, it turns into a cycle that like, man, every time I get in this situation, everything starts all over again. It's like they know how to turn the page and move on, and know that like, hey, what I just did doesn't define me. I mean, everybody has stuff to work on. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's all about perspective of like, hey, can you turn that switch and be able to walk away knowing like, hey, yeah, today wasn't the best, but I mean, I still have tomorrow to get better.
I love that insight, man. That's really good. Yeah, something like that also like that's why I like to ask that because it hits home for myself too, but also for other people tuning in and listening in. I love that. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh yeah, oh no, that was a great answer. And you have to try your best always to focus on the positive too, not always let some fans on social media influence what you think, or you're a professional, you know what you have to do, you know what you have to improve on. So that's the main goal, is to just focus on
Yeah,
yourself and not
I
worry too
think
much about
I
others.
think it comes down to where like it, life is hard as it is. Like life is hard. Like
Hmm.
life is tough, and then it's like when your job is put on a platform, being in the big leagues, you're on TV, you got to answer the media. Like there's times where like I think sometimes like even me, I forgot it as well. It's like life is hard, but so is baseball. Like throwing a baseball, putting it where you want at a velocity, striking people out, hitting a baseball, like being able to show up day in. I think I just saw somebody. I think it was like Brendan Donovan. Uh, did an interview with, I don't know if it was Pitching Ninja or somebody else. I saw it, and the question was asked like, "What's the hardest thing about being a big leaguer?" And it's showing up every day and doing my task at hand to be able to contribute to the team. And it's like it's one of those things where it's just it comes in the thing is where it's like if everything is just solely like if you base everything off of a game, you're just it's going to take a lot longer of a time to recover and be able to bounce back. And then you know you sulk for 4 days and then you have your next outing, but you haven't given yourself time to recover or you know get your mind right.
Hmm, that's awesome.
Oh yes. And then the other thing is you got all these different rules now. You thought not only with the pitch clock, but now that they're bringing in the ABS system. I know as fans, we argue and we complain about umps and the bad strike zones and strike calls and whatever. But as a player, as a former player, as a coach, how do you view with that having the ABS system?
I think it's tough. Like I think we've had this. Me and a couple of my coworkers have had this conversation because like the strike zone changes on the height of the hitter, right? So it's like, man, say your stuff plays up in the zone, and you're trying to use your stuff up in the zone to get some breaking balls down. Like, well, like if the strike zone is constantly changing hitter to hitter, it's like you go from knowing the strike zone of how your stuff plays to then now you're trying to have to figure out how does my stuff play for each individual guy. Normally, where I go fastball up because that's where it plays. Like no matter if it is normally where I throw it, it might be a ball. Like right, like I think John Boy did something with showing like what Altuve's strike zone would look like compared to Judge's
Yeah.
strike zone, right? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, that is some like think about that. It's like you're looking at this strike zone, and then you're looking at a different strike zone, but like in reality, you're gonna have to pitch yourself differently just because of how the strike zone is. And I think everybody saw that watches baseball, like the call at the end of the World Baseball Classic, right? Like it was a ball, but in the moment, sometimes like the instinct, because umpires are human too, but like the instinct of if you're the pitcher, you want that pitch every time. Every time you want that pitch. But then as a hitter, it's like, man, you just kind of screwed me because like, who knows? Like, what if that was a ball and I had another pitch to hit it in bat? So, I'm really interested to see how it goes. I'm really interested to see who uses the ABS system quite a bit. I mean, I know guys get to kind of tinker with it during spring training, but I think it's going to be a little bit difficult because in the season, right? Like there are some calls and you watch a game that are questionable. And sometimes an umpire gets a little bit lazy or the strike zone opens up a little bit. And like it'll be really interesting to see like how those challenges are used because like you don't have unlimited amount. So,
Yeah.
and I think Trevor Hoffman said it about like a system of like you get so many in the first couple innings in the middle and then the end of the innings, like to where it could be a really crucial call that like changes the whole narrative of the game. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Yeah, and I mean, early on, uh, around the New Year, we had Phil Cuzzy on here. And Nitin had brought us up, and we were interviewing him, and he said, different umps. We had they have some like to sit low, some have the high strike zone, you know, neutral. And but a lot of times they try to stay consistent, but it's hard to do it when you're in 90-degree weather and you're you know 3 hours into a ball game
Yeah.
and all
No,
that armor. So.
it's at the end of the day, it's still human. Humans make mistakes, right?
Hmm.
Like, I mean, they are the best of the best as far as umpires go, but like at the end of the day, they are human. Some umpires are hitter friendly, some umpires are pitcher friendly. Like, so the umpires are going to have to make adjustments too, because like we've all seen it during spring training so far. Like, I mean, a ball literally nicks the zone, and a hitter challenges it. It either goes, striker or ball, or the catcher challenges it. Like, it is going to be very interesting to see, because like some of these umpires have been around the game for a long time and
Hmm.
they've established their strike zones. They know, and at the end of the day too, is like it's really tough on umpires, because you got guys that are throwing 100 mile an hour, and then you got guys that are throwing 90-mile-an-hour sweepers, to where it's like, it's really hard to throw that and hit that, but let alone be able to track that. Because I know for me, like I just stood in on one of my guys' live BPs, and like I don't want to stand in there and face that. Like, you don't know what the pitch is doing sometimes. So the fact that umpires do that with all the gear on, 3 hour days, sitting behind there. I mean, it's really tough.
Oh yeah, and but that's why I got a lot of respect for him. I know sometimes as a fan I get frustrated, especially when it's calls against the Yankees, like the low balls on Aaron Judge, the low strike calls. But then I'm like, hey, but I want to keep the human element in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Like I saw something earlier. I think it said that it showed like an image of the strike zone, and it basically was talking about how the high curveball at the top of the zone is going to be the hardest pitch for umpires to dissect, especially with the ABS now, because even though you have technology of reviewing the pitch, seeing where it comes across, how many inches it is from the plate, it's still the umpire's perception of where it kind of crosses from the strike zone and kind of where it comes into the plate too. So and even if you don't have a challenge left, like you said, Justin, they don't have unlimited challenges. You have to know exactly kind of how the umpire is calling the game and kind of where he sees that pitch. Where's that perception that the umpire has of where the pitch is at the top of the zone?
No, you're absolutely right. Because I mean, think about how many times, like if you truly watch baseball, how many guys, when a curveball is up, you see the catchers catch it deep, and it's a strike because of where they catch it. Well, now with having the ABS, like catchers might have a hard time stealing those strikes, because like, hey, yeah, you're trying to catch it deeper, but then it's also where it crosses now into the strike zone. So like that that attribute of some of these catchers being really good and being able to sell it because they're able to catch it deeper, like they might be missing out on pitches just because of the ABS system.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I like some of these rules I've come to love. It's just, I guess the one rule I want gone is that ghost runner in the extra innings, or that Manfred run. The guy got the last out in the ball game. Why are you gonna, or the last out in the inning prior? Why are you gonna reward him with second base, and then put that extra thing just because you want to cheap it? To me, it personally kind of cheapens the game. But
Yeah,
maybe it's because I'm old school.
no, I mean, and I think that's just like the element of being a human, where like I understand like he's trying to speed up the game, but and like trying to keep the pitching staff right, because like obviously you go into an extra inning game, like you're using a lot of arms to where guys might not be hot the next day, but like what you said, like there was nothing more that I loved as a kid, turning on a big league game and it being 15 innings, 14 innings, and you're like, you're on the edge of your seat and you're locked in. You're like, oh man, one swing can change the whole outcome of the game. But like that aspect of, it's like when I remember being a kid and playing baseball in the yard. It's like, all right, ghost man on second, and stuff like that, and you're trying to, when you're playing with your friends and stuff like that. So I think there are some aspects that I don't, agree with, but I think that's life in general, where we're like, we don't agree with everything. But like the fact, excuse me, the fact that, sometimes as a fan, when you're at that game and it goes 15, 16, 17 innings, like it's almost rewarding, because you're like, man, I got my money's worth. Like this was awesome. Like this was awesome to be able to watch this much of high leverage competitive baseball. And you're watching, these grown men that are going out there battling it for 14, 15 innings.
Awesome. If there's any other
Awesome.
questions, we'll definitely get to them. But Right now, we have a little surprise for you, Justin, before we go. He's actually the guy that brought you on for this great interview today.
All
And
right.
here he is. His name is NITHIN. There he is.
What's up, Justin? How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
How you been?
I can't complain. It's nice weather, so that's all that matters right now.
Yeah, good to see you, and congrats on the new car. Wishing you guys success with you and your family. And guys, Justin is the best, man. The first time we connected with him was like a couple years ago, and I actually had a special treat. I also had Cooper and Carter with me, the twin Tribe Porters.
Oh man, those guys.
Justin, if you still keep in touch with the page, go check them out now. They're doing a fantastic job. They're all over the place, and we've been helping them out for a while. And they're amazing twins. They're 10-year-old twins, and obviously they did a great job when you were with you when you were on. And but I just want to say thank you for taking the time out here today to join Chef Nick, Sean, and Evan. They do a great job, and my team and I, with all the guests that's been on here, has been through us. So so you're added to the list, and yeah, Justin. The first time I met you, I've grown. Also, I'm an agent too now, and also I work for this company called Nation's Best. We do a lot of NIL brand deals now for athletes. So I'm in the NIL space now, and also an agent repping all former athletes, current athletes, and entertainment people, and you name it. So yeah, so it's been obviously an amazing journey, and obviously great to be connected with Justin, and obviously on a great career, and if we can help you to go on shows like these to expose more of your story, and we're more than welcome to. And like I said, thank you for joining Evan, Sean, and Chef Nick.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure to go down memory lane or be asked questions. It's one of those things that, like I said before, just with perspective of being able to give back a little bit to the next generation, or because you never know. I think the biggest thing is like you never know who that one person that might see it, helps them out in some type of way or fashion. And I was very fortunate to be able to play this game for a long time, and being able to talk about it, be able to kind of give my insight is always fun to do. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick. I have an announcement here. So on opening night next Wednesday, you're going to see the first ever MLB game on Netflix with the Yankees and Giants. And Jameis Winston, the Giants quarterback, will be a guest appearance on the panel that night. So shout out to Jameis Winston. Looking forward to seeing him on the panel with the opening day crew, whoever it is. So shout out to that, and I can't wait for opening day Wednesday night. It's gonna be fun, and first ever game on Netflix. So let's see how the views are that time. So
I'll be watching.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hopefully they got a good broadcasting crew, because
they got to do something like the Manning cast. They got to have some guests on. They got to have some insights from former players, maybe former managers too.
Who's the crew, by the way, for Netflix?
Oh,
good question.
I have no idea.
Hunter Pence is going to be one of the.
Hunter Pence, he's actually pretty good.
Hunter
I think I heard CC.
Oh yeah, CC's going to be a part of it, but he's like all over the place.
We got to get Justin Nicolino on there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, it's always fun to watch. Ex players commentate and because like there's just a way of like we just always saw the game differently, right? There's like little nuances, there's things that like little detail that you pay attention to that most people might not, and it's always fun to watch like from those perspectives.
Right, like part of what I learned a lot of new songs in baseball was hearing Bobby Mercer and Ken Singleton and Jim Cox calling baseball, and then they would be like reminiscing about and breaking down the game while they're playing it. It was just awesome.
Yeah, it gives you like that extra perspective of like insight of you're watching the game, but then you're also kind of listening to people that have experienced it as well, and being able to give you a little bit more detail behind the scenes type of thing. So that's always the fun part.
Yeah, I have a question for you real quick. I don't know if anybody asked you on the panel, but what are your thoughts on the new AVS system, Justin? I know.
We had a 12-minute conversation. I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Hitters know the strike zone, pitchers know the strike zone as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out with what the umpires are able to do. Like, is it going to cause some rift, in the media after of like maybe a big call gets blown, or it's so hard to tell until it actually happens and it gets put into play, because nothing really matters until the actual season starts and there's something on the line.
Well, I mean, we kind of saw it with the WBC. I think it was USA and DR
Yep.
with
The final
that
pitch
questionable call at the end.
Yeah.
on Perdomo. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, as a pitcher, you want that every time. Like every time you want that, right? Like you think it's a strike, like you umpire calls it a strike, like, and that's the thing too, is like most of the time, and kind of like going back to it a little bit, if a pitcher knows the umpire strike zone, they're going to try to exploit that strike zone and be able to attack where he knows he might get some calls on his side. So it'll be interesting to see how guys pitch a little bit, just because like if umpire's not expanding his zone like he might normally because of the ABS, but like I said before, there's only so many that you have during a game, so you got to use them wisely.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and then it's neat too, especially when you got like these in the this newly elected Hall of Famers like CC Sabathia, and they're still doing that broadcast, and I think that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like all these players, like good, like all these, like for example, Xavier Shrugs, who we brought on here too. He's doing a great job at LBB Network, and I think like Justin, even you would be a good fit for broadcasting or analyst, but like all these MLB, or I should say all these players in different sports have the right attitude or right mindset to get into the analyst job, broadcasting. And like I'll give you a funny example. Like Jameis Winston, I just brought up. He's fit for the broadcasting and analyst. He's funny when he does. He's funny on the microphone, and you've already seen videos of him doing a great job with that. So for him, after his playing career, he can fit seamlessly there. So it's good to see these former, and now me working with them closely now as an agent. It's good to see them get into the broadcasting or coaching. Like Justin, you're coaching players, and it's good to see just for them to stay in the same sport, but in a different aspect of it too.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure. Absolutely.
you see it with Drew Brees and
Yeah,
football, and even Phil Sims,
Teddy
and you're like,
Bridgewater.
what? or
Let's
then you hear some of the coaches like Bill Cowher.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Justin. This one's this one question's for you, not anyone else in the sports industry. But like for you, what do you see yourself as a potential future coach in the MLB or for a team? Do you see yourself in the
Yeah,
next
man. I
year?
think the game's never going to leave me. As much
Okay.
as at a point in my career where I thought, I was like, I had animosity towards the game, but I mean,
Mhm.
it's what I love. It's what I do. It's what I've known, and uh, I just have a high passion. I mean, my daughters aren't very fans of like sitting there, because I could watch a game, pitch one through the last out, and just be locked in and not say a word for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And my wife always tells me, she thinks, I'm a little bit of a savant, and maybe I don't give myself credit for it, but like, I just try to watch the little details of things, and I really miss the chess aspect of it.
Yeah.
When working with players, it's like, yeah, hey, well, what are you seeing with hitters? Like,
Yeah.
how is your stuff playing that day? So, at the moment, right now, I mean, I think only time will tell. I think, the hardest part about thinking about getting back into that avenue is the travel again. I did that for
Yeah.
so long, and I was gone, consistently, for 7 months out of the year. And I have two daughters that are involved in sports, and I'm both of their soccer coaches. So I love being home and being able to do, dad life with them, and be
Yeah.
home with my wife, because me and my wife spend so much time apart during my playing days. So, I mean, it's inevitable. I'll just say that. I don't know when, but that is obviously, part of, plans.
Well, I think you're going to be a great coach. Especially from all the questions I asked personally, I think that you're going to be an awesome coach if you ever decide to do it in the MLB going forward. So good luck to you, and I'm always going to root for you, man. Always going to root for you.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that, man. That means
Absolutely.
a lot.
Always.
But yeah, no, it's been an honor and a privilege having you on today. We learned a lot. I learned a lot personally. I love it when you get to break down and understand kind of how it all what you see on on TV, and when you watch the players play, and then you understand the perspective from their angle, it, it just makes that baseball fever 10 times. You know.
Oh
It,
yeah, I appreciate it. No, I'm itching at the bit to get the season started. My family hates it because like I'll sit there and watch every game, but I definitely know the fun of that. So I'm glad that I was able to just kind of give you guys a little insight inside my brain a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that was great.
and what's fun? It's today is a busy day for this show, and you're the second guest that came on to be. We also brought Al Snow on today, the former wrestler, for this morning on the show. So you're the second guest of today that we brought in for them. So what a busy day today, but yeah. So like I said, Justin, thank you again for joining them. Uh, you're the best, and like I said, grateful to be connected with you guys, uh, and we'll have you. We'll bring you back on here during the season, maybe like to talk, but to dissect the season so far, and go from there.
Absolutely, I would love it, guys. Thanks again for having me.
Of
Thank you
course.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
And get that new car.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get it.
yeah.
Let's go.
I don't have a choice. So I'm already
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Justin. Have a great
Thank
All
day.
right, guys.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it,
man. You
brother.
guys have a good.
You
See
too,
ya.
man.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, great job, guys.
All right.
Steph, Nick, Sean, and Evan, you did awesome. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
great job to you guys too. Amazing insight, amazing career knowledge, and all those great things. Thank you, Nithin and your team, for bringing him on. The second guest on the show today, and who knows, maybe we'll have one tonight. You never know.
Hopefully, yeah, we're working on it.
We'll
Let's see.
never know.
We'll see.
Anything's possible.
Anything, like Kevin Garnett says, anything is possible.
Yes.
Well, yeah. And it's been a crazy day, and world the sports entertainment industry.
March Madness
You
going
know,
crazy.
yeah, March Madness is going crazy.
Unfortunately, Hawks are lost, so that's
Mhm.
Shout out to Jason. Jason, good job, brother.
great job, Jason.
Very happy.
Shout out,
very proud of
Jason.
you. Very proud of you, brother. You deserve
Yes.
it.
We'll be calling the Knicks and Nets game tonight. With
That's
Nithin
right.
doing the score updates at
These two, I
7:30
hope they
p.m.
don't fight. Oh,
Hey.
I'm gonna have to
Giving
come
the
in and
score
squash it.
on the channel, and yeah, but
Love
Jason,
these twins.
and Jason, you earned it, man.
Yeah.
Like Joe said, Jason has earned it, and he well deserved. I mean, he has good flow with college basketball. Obviously, he knows his stuff, and I think and when it comes to college games, I think we found our guy. I think Jason's the person to.
Oh, he's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only we can get some people together to do a hockey game or a hockey something. I know some fans have wanted that.
Someone from hockey for hockey too. So
How about Mark Messier? Can you get him on the show? Maybe he can be an analyst.
hopefully, I can ask Mike Keenan.
There you go.
Yeah, Mike Keenan.
Hey, Joe. Good to see you, man. You okay?
Joe, the Godfather.
Hello,
Hold on.
guys. What's going on?
The Sicilian Ayatollah Joseph Mengoya. Good to see you.
No, the Sicilian Slammer.
That's
Yeah, that's a
me.
good name. I like that.
That's his wrestling name.
It's been a long, incredible day, and it's still going on because we have another game here, guys, live on both of our channels. So get ready, get set, lock up, and go. It's going to be a nice one. Now, during the game, we will give you Yankee updates. Nithin is going to do all that calling, and I will do shorts on YouTube live to keep you updated and to make sure that everybody knows that this basketball game will be live right here on NY Yankee Mania and our World channel. And it's easy to subscribe now, everyone. Look on the top left of your screen. All you got to do is just aim your phone to it, press the button, and you'll go right to NY Yankee Mania and just subscribe. The same thing with World. When we're on World, you aim the phone, and it's right there. And it'll be very easy for you. You don't have to go off the screens. You don't have to do anything. Bing, bang, boom. Press that like button for Jason and for Evan tonight. I know they're going to call a great game. Jason already called a great game. Press that like button always. And if you haven't seen the game, go check it out.
Yeah. Also, when we next time we get together, we got to do a big celebration for 1K.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We gotta hold up the glass to either Bailey's or Las Vaza coffee
Well,
or.
I'm going to one of my friends' party late tonight. So I'll be
Nice.
celebrating. Yeah.
There you go.
So,
There you
Here's
go.
the 1K. Thank
have
you
to-
very much.
I have to come up with something
Yeah.
clever with the QR codes because now it's like we can't devour and eat the like button. Now we have to devour and eat the QR button code.
Yes.
No,
What
It's
is
like
this, with this modern technology, man? I'm done with
no,
this.
you gotta compare it to a creme brulee. You know.
Eat
No,
and
it's
devour
like-
this
no,
creme
it's,
brulee and the QR code.
it's crab meat.
There you go. You know, I can't stand restaurants that have a QR code for your menus. I want the
Oh
proper
my
menus in front
goodness.
of me. This is done. Like
Say
come on.
restaurant or restrooms?
Both, I guess.
Oh.
Restaurant. I mean, hey, if there's a QR code for a restroom,
Yeah, it's
then
a
we
little,
lost the plot. We lost the plot.
yeah. I think that's a little.
Yeah, there you go. This guy keeps carrying Clorox.
I don't know if that's.
This guy's
it's freaky or
carrying
weird.
Clorox all day long.
Nice.
I love
NITHIN always
Clorox
smells
wipes.
fresh. Lemon scented NITHIN.
Jason
Hey,
says, let's hit up all the bars after the game in Brooklyn.
Yes.
I'm with Jason.
No
We're going
chance.
wild.
go
no.
out,
Like
Snow
we did-
Wild.
We could do like we did in the party when we went for the band and everything, and then oh my god,
Oh wow. Yeah.
we went on live and the show took off.
But
Yeah, it was crazy.
you know, you're gonna see Joe going down the street with the 2x4 in one hand and the American flag in the other.
Oh!
You got it.
USA!
USA. USA. Yeah.
I love the hacksaw, baby.
Freaker
Love it.
Sports. Let's go.
Oh yes.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
tell you guys. Well, Evan, you got to save that golden voice because in an hour and a half you're going back on.
Oh yeah.
And everybody, wow, well deserved. Great day, everyone. Remember now, tomorrow night we have on our World Channel, it's World Mania After Dark at 11 p.m. Everyone, so come and join us. And basically, what it is if you go to a play, if you go to a movie, let's talk about it. What happened during the week? Did you take your grandkids out? Did you go out? What did you do? And of course, we'll talk sports, but it's all about family. It's all talking. Whatever you like to talk about. That's really positive and really fun. That's great. Let's do it. If you're a little down, we want to try to make you smile a little bit. So that's tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. We will make an announcement for a show for memberships that's coming very, very soon. So hang in there, everyone. So, guys, some final thoughts before we end the stream and go to our basketball game of the NBA Knicks and Nets in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Or tune into Ken's open panel at 6:10 also.
Yes.
6:10.
Yeah.
Okay. I might go on. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, so guys, you can go on there and come join us and support Ken from the Yankees, The Ugly Truth. He does great work. He always helps us out. He does so much. We appreciate him. But yeah, let's come out and flood his channel with love. All right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes, and don't forget Yankee baseball tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Yep.
as the Yankees play the Detroit Tigers, and you'll get to see your golden boy, Aaron Judge. By the way, a quick note of an ex-Yankee, Gio Urshela, was released today by the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, let's go Yankees.
Pick him up
Pick him up, Yankees. Pick him up.
right now.
I don't need no more infielders. Come on.
Hey, we know what we could do is release Jazz Chisholm, pick up Gio Urshela,
Yeah.
Paul
That would
DeJong
be a-
start at second base.
Bye bye, Jays.
That might be a good idea, actually. No, just kidding. But everyone, come back for the Knicks and Nets, and don't forget that like button. Don't forget to give them a rah-rah, and of course subscribe to both channels. You can go on each. Give both channels some love. So again, any final thoughts before we give our last goodbye? Anybody?
Well,
Just thank you guys very much for the support. 1,000 subs, not easy to do for sure. So all of us deserve kudos very much, and you guys too. You guys are the stars of the show. Thank you. Looking forward to tonight. I feel like only real Nets fans will know the players on the court for the Nets tonight. It's going to be like a G League team going against a NBA championship team potential. So we'll see what happens. I'll give $100 to someone who can name a player on the Nets other than MPJ, Terrence Mann, Nick Claxton, Day'Ron Sharp, or Jordy Fernandez. So
What, you
thank you
gonna
guys
name the
very
whole
much.
team and then challenge?
ready? Toure. Toure.
So yeah, thank you guys very much. I'll hand this one off to someone
Evan, I
else.
got one for you. Toure. Toure.
Traore, yes, you got it.
There you go.
He's still on there? He didn't get. He's still on there.
Traore, he's a rookie,
He's
so
a
yes,
rookie.
he is still
You get
playing. Yes.
99 cents. That's it. That's what it's worth. No, just kidding.
But
Evan,
Yeah.
it's $100. I'm winning it tonight. Yep, I won. I won his money.
yeah, but great job, guys. As always, obviously,
Yeah.
Joe did a great job at Al Snow, and we'll definitely bring back Al Snow on the show so Stephanie can get a chance to meet him. Yeah, I mean, but you got Joe, you did fantastic with Al,
Yeah,
and
Joe. Good job,
Al
Joe.
enjoyed it. He really enjoyed it, and he had a great time. And congrats to everyone on 1K subscribers. We do it for we do it for you guys, and everybody's involved with all this. So this has been amazing. Please continue liking and subscribing to this channel, also the World Mania channel. Subscribe to our Job in the Mouse show, which is going through a name change, which should be official by next week. And also subscribe to our NITHIN Sports Rush. And big things are happening at our nation's best NIL Dream Company. Stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for some live shows in different venues, and also the charity softball game, which we're going to start brainstorming on. So pretty soon here. So guys, keep it up. Great job, and looking forward to seeing Jason and Evan on the Nets and Knicks call. That should be fun. And also Ken, go check out Ken from the Ugly Truths. He's going to be on live soon at 6:10 doing an open panel. Go check that out, and obviously big more things to come. So stay tuned, guys.
All right, man. We've said it all. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone. God bless you all. God bless America. Let's go Yankees. Stay healthy. Guys, thank you so much. And let's celebrate the 1,000K and keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Subscribe and subscribe. Good night, everyone. See you in 1 hour in 90 minutes. Take care, everyone.